Right, 1 April 2020, and today I want to tell you a secret. So this is something that only a few people know about, and this is that secret negotiations between Nelson Chamisa and Dr. Khuphe had already started almost 2 months ago. And I'm telling you this because of the ruling of the Supreme Court that was delivered yesterday, where a certain number of actions were imposed upon the MDC. The MDC was supposed to hold an extraordinary Congress within 3 months. So I want to explain that this judgment has to be looked at in a number of ways. And if you're an MDC supporter, the information that I'm going to give you here, it will help you to understand better what the best way forward is. Firstly, I want to make it clear that what I'm saying here is something that I know firsthand because I was in one of the first meetings that was held here in Johannesburg, the pilot meeting, where a discussion was made to broadly define the dialogue or the discussions between the Chamisa side and the Khuphe side. I've seen many people who want a war of attrition, who think that Chamisa can win or Khuphe can take over. And my belief is that this is not the way to go. My belief is that a united MDC is good for everybody, which is why I made a lot of effort to set up the meeting between the both sides. So in that meeting was the chairman for South Africa, Trust Ndlovu, and on Dr. Khuphe's side was Khalipani Pugeni, the spokesman for Dr. Khuphe. And both sides, both leaders, in my opinion, because I didn't talk to them, they had given the blessings for these discussions to start. The point of the discussion and the point of departure was that without unity in 2023, the MDC would not win the elections. So without Bulawayo, without Matabeleland, we're going to be back where we were in 2018, where the MDC lost. That is, Nelson Chamisa lost only by a marginal 40,000 or so votes. If Nelson Chamisa had received the votes that went to Dr. Khuphe, he was going to win or force a runoff, and we're not going to have the situation that happened in 2018. So it's critical for the MDC to be united before the 2023 elections. So that is where everything started. And after that, obviously, I was not involved in the other negotiations that took place. But my understanding is that the next step was for both sides to set up committees and negotiate on the way forward. What is important, and I think this is important to both sides, is to get out of this phase where there's squabbling, fighting, lack of direction. So both leaders, Dr. Khuphe and Nelson Chamisa, in my view, they understand that there's a need to move the MDC into core business. No one is winning at the moment. Everyone is focusing on the wrong things. So after I gave you that background, let us put yesterday's ruling into context. That ruling has installed Dr. Khuphe as the acting president of the MDC for 3 months. That is, during that time, she must organize an extraordinary Congress. The effect of that ruling has also been to dissolve the MDC alliance. So legally, the MDC alliance right now, as it was set up by Morgan Tsvangirai, does no longer exist. Someone like Tendai Biti, someone like Welshman Khuphe, those people, Job Scala, they were not in the MDC when the alliance was formed. So they are no longer part of the MDC that Morgan Tsvangirai left. So what it means is that Nelson Chamisa has lost some of his closest allies. And I know that is painful. It's painful for him to have to let go of those allies. But as it stands right now, because he went to court and appealed, he went to the court process. He can now not say, because I've lost, the court process was flawed. So the only way to go will be to obey the court process. And I want to give you the context of all this, because there's a difference between the political statements and the legal processes. So if you go to court and then the court orders something and you don't do it, or you go against it, you're obviously in contempt of court. So there are certain implications of not obeying the court order. And so you cannot just stand up and say, I'm not obeying this court order. And it has got other implications politically in future. If you fail to obey court orders, what happens when we give you a position of authority? So it raises questions about the way in which you're going to conduct yourself when you're in office. Remember, Mugabe used to disobey court orders, especially around the land reform program. So this is something that, as a law-abiding party, if an order is given, you have to follow. So everybody has to understand that there are certain political processes taking place, there are certain legal processes taking place. I do not believe that Nelson Chamisa can lose at Congress. If Nelson Chamisa was to contest at Congress, he will not lose. He's going to win. But the MDC has to change. So the MDC is not going to be the same MDC that you know, where we had 3 vice presidents, where certain things were happening. So it's almost like a reset as it is. But obviously, there are a number of options open to Nelson Chamisa. Because right now the ball is in Nelson Chamisa's court. Nelson Chamisa can choose to say, I belong to the MDC alliance and I will not deal with these other guys. That will make his supporters happy. But it's unlikely to make him win the 2023 elections. So I want everybody to understand the focus should be on the 2023 elections. So you can win now temporarily. Your supporters can come around and say you have won, you're the big man. But in 2023, without a united MDC, you're not going to win. Therefore, the efforts that have already started to negotiate between Dr. Thokozani Khuphe and Nelson Chamisa should now continue. For 3 months, Dr. Thokozani Khuphe, there is no choice. She's going to be the acting president of the MDC. You cannot reverse the decision of the court. I want to take you back to the time when Jacob Zuma was fired as the vice president of South Africa. It was a very difficult time for him. I think he even went for a year without being in office. But at the next gathering of the ANC, he managed to become the leader and he managed to then become the president of South Africa. These are temporary setbacks. But the only way to go is to have a united MDC. That's why you see that ZANU-PF, they never split. Right now, you don't have ZANU-PF 1 or ZANU-PF 2. There's one ZANU-PF. ANC, they never split. The people that leave, they go. But they don't go and take away members of ANC and say we're ANC too. These liberation movements, they know how to administratively manage their organizations and politically manage their organizations. This is where the MDC needs to go. Nelson Chamisa, by support, is the president of the MDC. It is known. What is needed is to work within the framework of the law and the framework of the constitution of the MDC. And as I said to you, negotiations were already underway. So these negotiations should continue. The people that were not in the MDC alliance or MDCT, these people can still become part of an alliance. It doesn't mean when the MDC was there, then to never be changed. There could be a way of accommodating all these people. But the constitution of the MDC, according to the court, does not allow for 3 vice presidents. So you cannot force issues and get stuck on these positions. A vice president position is not the only position. The people that were holding the vice president positions, Karenyi Kore, Washman Khuphe, Tendai Biti, as far as that ruling is concerned, they are no longer holding those positions. But then people should not get stuck on personalities. There is need to improve processes in the MDC. It is known. There is need to improve the way people adapt the constitution. There's need to improve systems. And it is important to take it on the chin. At the moment, Nelson Chamisa will just have to take it on the chin and bear it like a man until the 3 months when Congress comes and he's going to be voted again as the MDC president. But the alliance, as far as the ruling is concerned, is not a political party. Now, let's go to the final thing I want to say. Is Dr. Thokozani Khuphe a bad person or a ZANU-PF puppet? I think we all need to understand there can be differences in political parties without someone being a puppet, without someone being a bad person. This is a moment when MDC needs to unite. And this court ruling has given an opportunity. If you lose this opportunity to unite, there will not be another opportunity. And this means everyone needs to come together. It's give and take. Some people will lose, some people will gain. But at the end of the day, the organization, the MDC, is going to gain. So, my suggestion is negotiations must continue. All the leaders must come together, sit down and talk, and come up with a plan. Start working towards that Congress as soon as this lockdown is over. The MDC is going to survive. Nelson Chamisa is going to end up the president. But at the same time, Dr. Thokozani Khuphe and her party, the MDCT, also no longer exists. Everyone needs to be within one MDC. Everyone is now back. Khuphe is back. BT is back. Scala is back. Everybody. Now we have the original MDC. And this is what needs to be communicated to the members. Right, that's all I wanted to say today. A number of options on the plate for Nelson Chamisa. But there is only one way to win in 2023. That is through unity. Thank you very much for watching. If you're watching this on WhatsApp, send it to as many people as possible. If you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, please like, comment, and share.